How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. The NFL has released the schedules for all 32 teams entering the 2022 season. The Bengals, kind of shocking, but at the same time, very deserving of what you're seeing out of this Bengals football team in their schedule this season. They're going to play 5 primetime games. They're going to play 3 games at the 425 slot this year, which is, I'd consider the 425 more primetime than I would the Thursday night football game. As far as, they consider the game of the week, that's the prime slot they put games on Sundays when you're not on the West Coast. And that's the case with the Bengals here. They're playing Dallas, they're playing Tampa, and they're playing Kansas City, I think they're all in the 4 o'clock slot. So a lot of spotlight going to be on these Bengals this year. Half their games, just about. Half their games going to be prime time. And I love it. Bengals making the Super Bowl, and they're being rewarded for doing so. Going to get more eyes on this Cincinnati Bengals team. We'll see how they do in the spotlight all season. I tell you what, this is a team that played really well when the pressure was at its highest last season under the lights, and we're going to get to see them probably do that again this year. Optimistic Bengals fan. But just diving into this schedule, I thought it was interesting. First of all, Bengals play Tampa, Kansas City, and what did we say, Dallas? Tampa, Kansas City, Dallas at 4 o'clock. I'm surprised that they went Thursday night football with the Dolphins, which makes sense. They always kind of throw an kind of game Thursday night. But they went Bengals, Steelers, Bengals, Ravens, Bengals, Brownies out there for some primetime action this year. Was a little shocked they won all divisional matchups there, but they should be good divisional matchups. Again, you bring in, the guy up there in Cleveland, you bring him over there. That's going to make Cleveland that much better. You got the Baltimore Ravens when healthy. They're a scary team to play. So those are going to be some big matchups this season, to say the very least. But what I really like about the way this Bengals schedule is put together is we're seeing week 1 Pittsburgh, week 2 Dallas, week 3 New York Jets. And I think that's a really good way to start the season. A very favorable schedule, if you will, because you're going to go week 1 into Pittsburgh, and they're going to be trying to figure things out. You're going to have a Trubisky likely led offense, and you're going to have to worry about TJ Watt and company on defense. You're going to have to worry about him all season, though. But if you could catch the Steelers at time, I think week 1's a great time to catch them. You go to week 2, same story. La'el Collins going to go up against his former team, Dallas, who they're shuffling some pieces around on that offensive line, and we talked about it last year. Bengals have to do it this year as well, where it'll take a couple games for these guys to get acclimated, build that line chemistry together until they start playing as a unit, a cohesive unit, and playing really well. But again, I think that's something that plays more into the Bengals' hands because, as we know, Dallas, even with Dak Prescott and company, they still like to try to pound that rock. They like to run the football. They like to center their game around that. And if they're still shuffling the line around early in the season, cause some problems on Prescott, might be a good time to catch those Cowboys. And then the Jets are, the Jets. And you'd like to think you could win that game this year for Cincinnati. I said you'd like to think you could win that game. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. No free wins for the Bengals, as we learned last season. But man, you know what? I take it back. This is a must-win game, and we're expected to lose. You hear that? You hear that? Yeah. Play it like it's a game you gotta lose, Cincinnati. I appreciate it. Thank you. To end the season, this team's got an absolute gauntlet. We heard that before, though, right? Had a gauntlet to end last season. You looked at the end of the season and said, how is this Bengals team, after losing these must-win games, how are they going to find a way in the playoffs? The gauntlet came, and the Bengals just ran right through it. Again, we're seeing it this year. Tennessee, Kansas City, Cleveland, Buffalo, New England, Baltimore are who they're going to play to end this season. Not an easy matchup there. You don't see a lot of easy matchups in general for this Bengals schedule this season. And again, you expected a first place schedule. You play the first place team in divisions. Bengals going to play a grand total of 3 teams that had a record below 500 last season, if you're excluding the Ravens and the Browns. And I'm going to count the Ravens and Browns out because I think they're going to be, again, really competitive teams this season. Really good chance they're going to be above 500. We'll see what happens, but that's going to be tough. That's a tough schedule. Tough schedule. Bengals ain't the only ones that got to play that, though. Besides the first place teams, the rest of this division sees a lot of those same teams, too. It's a tough Bengals team. I think they're going to take that step forward this year. I think that's what's really big about those first 3 games, too. Allow the team to kind of build a little bit of chemistry, get into the rhythm of things, and finish strong like they did last season. And it plays into their favor. Play these tougher teams later in the season when they're at their best. I was going to throw out an early prediction, but I think we'd really just be throwing it off the top of our head. So I'm going to say, you guys love to hear your thoughts on it. Early predictions, how many wins the Bengals get in this season. We're going to look into it a little bit further. We're going to give you guys a nice prediction here sometime in the future. Love you guys' thoughts, though. As always, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.